and welcome back to my channel. I'm actually very excited today. I really am. Normally, and I've said this many times, but normally I do videos because I like doing them. I like watching how everything comes together. I like doing the editing, and I really love playing the games. So essentially, this is a big hobby for me. But today I'm excited. I'm really excited because today I actually get to try and add to the conversation. Alright? So we're talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake. But guys, this is actually my first Final Fantasy game. Ask True, he'll tell you the same thing. In fact, he loves to rub that in. So, unlike a lot of people who have been reviewing Final Fantasy VII, who've been talking about it lately, I'm going to be talking about it from the perspective of somebody who's never played a Final Fantasy. Okay, full disclosure, I have played a little bit of Crystal Chronicles and a very tiny bit of Final Fantasy 15, like 5 hours or something like that. I didn't really get into it. I'm thinking maybe I'll go back and try it again. Haven't decided yet, but yes. Full disclosure, I played a little bit, but this is my first real one. And I have dived in. I've done a lot. So guys, let's go ahead and get to it.
Guys, let's go ahead and just jump right in here and start talking about the good and the bad about this game. Because there is a little bit of bad, but for the most part, I really enjoyed this game. And the first thing I want to mention is the combat. So, at first I was a little afraid of the combat when I heard it was going to be a mix of this, what is it called, turn-based strategy and modern kind of hack and slash stuff. I was a little afraid that this would be complicated, but it's really not. I also was a little worried when I heard about switching between characters. This, again, not that bad. It's actually pretty easy to do, and once you get the hang of it, you can do some really cool stuff. I would recommend getting used to switching between characters very regularly. Next thing I'd like to mention is the actual leveling up system. So, this is one of the big misconceptions I had about Final Fantasy, and I'm going to try and go through a couple of them that I had here, but this is the first one, and that's that leveling up in Final Fantasy is a very complicated thing, and it's not easy. And, that's a big part of it, is you have to really wrap your head around this. And I guess I got that from old rumors about I think it's called the junctioning system in 8. I don't know. Rob from PlayStation Access mentions it all the time. And, well, this kind of scared me off a bit because I don't like complicated leveling systems. I don't like have to... The Witcher 3 had a very complicated one, and I feel like I never fully wrapped my head around it as well as I could have. So I always wanted to go back and do another playthrough of that game. When I do, I'm really going to have to pay attention to that leveling system. This game, though, the leveling system was fairly straightforward. And what I liked about it was, as you collect up the weapons, they level up too, which unlocks new skill trees that are tied to each weapon. So part of me didn't like this because it's like, well, that means that some abilities I won't have with different weapons. But then I realized that all the SP, all the points that you get to level up your weapons, you get an individual pool for each weapon. And it's pretty much goes back to your first level. So all the weapons have the same amount of SP to unlock different skills with, which means that as you're leveling up, as you get a new weapon, you can instantly upgrade it to where you want it to be upgraded to, and you can be like, wow, there you go, you know what, this is a new viable weapon, it has all the upgrades, it has all the materia slots, it's ready to go. I also really like that each weapon comes with its own unique ability, and you can actually become proficient in these abilities by using them in combat, and then use them with any other weapon. I love this, because it means that you can really choose to use the weapon and the ability you want to use. If you want to use, say, I don't know, the triple strike. It's I think it's the second weapons ability that you get, and yet you love the Buster Sword, then you can do that. I really love that. The next big thing I want to mention is the world building. Guys, the world building in this game is so good. I mean, whether you're just walking around town listening to these people talk, or whether you're actually in the story and talking to characters directly, or even sometimes in the side quest talking to characters directly, like There's one character that I really like, and yeah, I have a feeling you guys will too, because he's just kind of oh, he's kind of a scoundrel. I like those kind of characters. So I really love all that. And the pacing in this game is pretty good too. You feel like you're making a pretty decent amount of progress. I played for about I would say about 45 hours to complete the story. Now that was collecting all but three three weapons, which I've already gone back and gotten, and doing the vast majority of the stuff that needed to be done. However, I will say that while I made some really good progress and I had a lot of fun, I wish I had had a little bit of a warning about the end of this game. So I don't want to give any spoilers, and I'm going to try and keep it vague. But I want to mention to you guys and give any new players out there this warning. When I got to the end of this game, I felt like I hit a wall in progress. It just went from I'm making good time, I'm progressing, I'm seeing all this stuff, I'm having a lot of fun with the story, to every inch is a fight. But that's not even the worst part. The part that really made me angry, the part that frustrated me, the part that made me want to smash my controller was as you're going through, you're definitely coming to the end of the game. You can tell you're coming to the end of the game. Everything about this, everything about the story beats, the last cutscene, everything about the dialogue of the characters, everything screams, end of the game. And then you have to go through this long and kind of tedious part, which is almost like a platform. I don't want to call it platforming, but kind of like it's definitely a movement puzzle. And it's not a complicated one by any means, but it is time consuming. And at this point, I'd easily put in 40 hours or more into the game. I'm going to probably say 40 hours because it took me quite a while to beat the final few bosses. And I'm not going to lie here, guys. At this point, I kind of felt like the developers were artificially extending out the playtime of their game when they didn't need to. I also kind of felt like they weren't respecting the time I had already put into the game as a player. I know this seems weird. I don't think everybody's going to feel this way, but I think it has to be said. And I want to stress that this does not ruin the game in any way, shape, or form. This was one gripe. This is also my opinion. You might not mind this at all. But I didn't like this part of the game much. And while I do feel like anybody can grasp the combat, and I would encourage you to at least try the new combat system, even if you're a returning player and you just want to dive right into that old feel. Give the new combat a try. It's actually a lot of fun. But I will say that I wish I had known about this from the get-go.
Alright, everyone, well, there you have it. Like I say, this is a really good game and I love it a lot. It's just there is one section of it that I don't like. And like I say, I had a few misconceptions. I thought the game was far more goofy than it turned out to be. I thought it was going to be far more open world than it turned out to be. Nothing of here ruins the game. I'd still rate this game very highly. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I would want to play it again. Sorry. Paying attention to something else. I guess with that, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you all for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider leaving a like. Maybe share it with your friends. Leave a comment down below. What Final Fantasy game should I play next? And if you really enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. You know, we don't have a lot of subscribers, but you know what? Always cool. And I think there's a notification bell now, too. I think that's actually old news. I just don't know what I'm doing. I'm a bad YouTuber, guys. Stay safe, have fun, see you next time.